Hello and welcome to the 6 months to 6 figures series of the Double Your Freelancing podcast. In this series, you'll follow a specific freelancer, in this case, Maia. I'm trying to point at her for the video people, as I coach them from early stages to earning a 6-figure annual income. Because if you break it down, $100,000 a year is essentially $8,333 a month. So my challenge is to see how quickly I can get somebody from kind of early stages to $8,333 a month. And my challenge is like, do it within 6 months. Hence, 6 months to 6 figures, very catchy. So in this series, I'll connect with Maia every week or two, and it'll follow the same format as the office hours coaching within the DYF Accelerator. And that's how these actually all started. So if you're watching these or listening and you find yourself thinking, I wish I could get coaching like this, know that you totally can. You can learn more at dyf.link/DYFA. Let's dive into today's episode. So I've been dying to know. Last we chatted, I challenged you to start saying the 777 number. How did it go?
Even better, because now I'm getting clients to bundle playbook and Basecamp. I have 2 clients that wanted to do that. And what I'm doing is that I'm offering a bundle at a price that they both have things that I would do anyways for both. So the bundle is a really good price because it's $500 less when you put them together. But it really benefits me. And, it adds 4 hours more into Basecamp. But I'm charging more. Pretty much I'm charging more for Basecamp.
Cool. So what is the bundle price?
The bundle price is $2,680.
2,680. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the discount is as if the baseline one was 777, yeah?
No, 888. I left it 888, and the other one just for this bundle, so it looked like the discount is bigger. I left it 888, and I left the other one 2222, which the total, I'm really bad at math, but when you subtract 500 is the number that I just told you.
Okay. Which is 500 off. Okay, cool. Well, that's wonderful. So applause to you there. Another great win. Did you have anyone who was interested in just did you get any responses around just the 777? Or were there only people interested in the bundle? I'm just basically what I'm curious about is how essentially it was doubling the price, right? What was it before?
The price was $888, but I was offering to everyone for $444 because I was beta testing and things like cold pitching.
Okay.
Well, warm pitching pretty much, on the DMs already. But I've been thinking a lot about what you said, and I talked about it with my partner about how Playbook is pretty much just making me work more for less money.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been prioritizing a bit more Basecamp. And that's why when I'm having these conversations with people, I am talking more. Before, I just wanted to do Playbook because I thought that it's impossible for people to just let go of that offer. But now I want to focus more on people getting Basecamp, locking it in advance. And so I haven't done any pitch for 777. I've only done 2 bundles, and I'm working with the 2 people in August for those 2 bundles.
So let me pull up my notes for your time spent. So as a recap, It looks like for Playbook, you spend about an hour onboarding them, and then you have a 1.5 hour meeting, and then a 1 hour meeting after, and then 2 hours to make the playbook. So that's 6 hours. And then for Basecamp, you have about 18 to 20 hours. Then I have 15 in parentheses. I don't know why I put that in parentheses, but how much is your...
Sometimes it has taken me 50, I guess, because sometimes one time it took me 11 hours to do a branding, and the worst client, which was your question, was 22 hours, which I tracked. So I would say 15 hours is the sweet spot for Playbook Basecamp.
Okay, so let me do the math now real quick. And I'm chewing, so I'm trying to chew away from my mic. I'm going to do a test real quick. If I chew back here, I want to see if you can hear me chew.
A little bit.
All right.
But I mean, I'm fine. I'm a chewer too. It's okay. I'm a camera chewer also.
But some people really hate it. Like we'll get some people who cancel their freaking accelerator membership just because of the chewing. Like it's viscerally terrible for some people. Like they can't stand it.
That second really costed you like 2 memberships.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't worth it. I just eat afterwards. So anyway, let me get these pulled up. So let me paste these in to today. Oh, and let me put up the timer. Oh wait, that's the wrong thing. Timer. Pop out. So this would have technically need to be done. So I got to go a little bit short to make it work. So we'll call it this. Okay.
Perfect.
So previously, Basecamp was 2222, and now Playbook is, well, I want to do the math. So let's pretend it was 8888, because you said before you had one at 320. So if Playbook was 8888,
yes,
888, not 8888, 888 divided by 6. So that still puts your effective hourly rate at 148, which is higher than your Basecamp, which was previously around 111. So like, my question for you is, given that the Playbook is what you have the abundance of leads for, which the thing that's been cool about taking you through this, that I think it's been cool for both of us to see, is that it's always been clear to me through my own freelancing journey how much of what you can charge depends on what you believe you can charge. Like obviously a lot of it depends on the value, the close to the money, all that stuff. But some of it, like you just don't think you can do something and then you try it and it works. And I'm seeing that with you a little bit now that you're getting more people buying Basecamp, which you previously didn't think anyone would want to buy. So I think your bundling thing is genius. That may be like the way that you do the route. But I'm curious, if you were selling Playbook at 888 and it was a better effective hourly rate than Playbook plus Basecamp, would you, because I seem to remember you like doing Playbook more.
I love it.
So just so you know then, like the math, well, but because the math, because Basecamp is still the 2222. So 2222 divided by 15 is also 148. Oh, that's funny. So as of now,
see,
if it was a 15
number.
hours, if it was a 15-hour project for a Basecamp client, you would be getting paid exactly as much as an $888 Playbook. So in that world where both brought in the same amount of dollars, do you have a preference?
Oh, no. Like in my ideal world, which is July, actually, I have 3 Basecamp clients and 3 Playbook clients. I could have more Playbook, but handling 6 people and messages and stuff, because I do Telegram, like a lot of like actual like purpose coaching a bit, I don't know if that makes sense, but like people are giving me like their brand and I do a lot of like listening. So I don't think I could pay attention to more than 6 people. So the preference is even, like I want to have the same amount.
Okay. And you said you have August booked up. So like when are you booked up until right now?
The 15th of August, I cannot receive anything else. I did something that I wanted to ask you because I thought it was really cool, which was writing week per week. Like it's the first time in my life that I am getting so many leads. And it's the first time that I feel like I'm on top of it. But I did feel like sitting down and writing week per week this month and being like, okay, these 2 clients are in discovery. This other client is in handoff from last month. This client is in discovery, but per Playbook, and kind of like grouping the clients. And now I have like in my head and in my Notion a bit of like onboarding, design, Playbook, offboarding. Offboarding needs files, like, and pitching, but I'm not doing any more pitching. Like I have 0 in that one. And that really helped me see that there's a lot of opportunity for retainers, and that's something that I want to ask you, how to offboard people and invite them into like my retainer world, which I have 2 clients on retainer now. And the other part is like how when you were booked out in advance, like how did you track your projects? Kind of like the timeline, like the roadmap for every one of them. How did you do it?
Cool. Let me just write it down. So for me, with my brain, and I don't know your process, so this is what I want to dig into. I dislike concurrent projects. I dislike them so much. I really hate when I'm like waiting on somebody for content for like 6 months, or not 6 months, but like several months. I'm like nagging them for content, and then they are like just fucked off. It's not a priority. And then they come back after 6 months. They're like, okay, I got it. Also, we need the website up next week. It's like, no, you do not. No, you do not. I hate it. And I hate that because it makes it so hard to forecast. So I kind of reworked my entire process such that is not something that I do. And I will like time box my projects so that I don't, this is my preference. It doesn't always go this way. It might not work with yours, but I tend to time box my projects. So it's like, this client and I are working really intensively this week. Like every day we're going to be on Zoom. We're going to spend several hours. I'm going to be crushing it. We're going to knock the whole fucking thing out. And this is coming from someone whose service offering was online in a day at one point, where I do like 16 hours of client work in one day to just have the website done. And I really like that.
Smart. That's my style too. It's more like 4 weeks. 4 weeks and you have your brand. That's how I do it. I hate when clients just drag forever.
So with the 4 weeks thing, like what's the stuff? So I was talking to Brad about this earlier. Like Brad has struggled to get videos from clients, and Brad worked around this by like changing it so that he just straight up interviews them and records it and uses that interview as his videos. And now he doesn't have to wait on the clients to send him that. So for you, if it's 4 weeks, like what's happening over those 4 weeks? Why does it take 4 weeks instead of, because let's say even Basecamp, 15 hours, like that's 3 5-hour work days. Why does it take 4 weeks instead of 3 days?
Inspiration.
Okay, so it's waiting for you to like percolate a little bit.
Yeah. And I like I've tried to do it fast, but for real, like it doesn't work. Like I do illustrations, sometimes I give them animations. Like I think people are really coming to me because I have a very analog feel. And also because it's more like editorial projects that need a little bit more of like design and like typographic treatments that take me like investigation, going back into like my stuff from my university and seeing like typefaces and stuff. But what it takes is 1 week of discovery, like onboarding discovery. I like to send their Notion board maybe on Monday. We jump on a discovery call on Wednesday, and that week I call it discovery. And then the other 4 weeks, I always tell them from 2 to 4 weeks, I will hand you the first round of your branding. And then they have revisions. And then the second round, like I honestly don't get a lot of revisions, but the second round, I would give it to them the next week. So maximum in an ideal world, and it's not always the case, it takes me 6 weeks. Like, as you say, like the worst client, it takes me 6 weeks to like hand them off something.
Okay. Can you lay out that process again, top to bottom? I want to get it all written down.
Okay. So week 1, should I call it by week or phase?
I mean, if it's always one thing per, let's do phase, because I bet there are some things that don't take a whole week. But maybe you say phase and also how long it takes. Like initial call, that's like day 1.
Okay. Wait, you want me to say days or phases?
Say phases, but also indicate the length of time they take.
Okay. So phase 1 is onboarding, which starts in day 1. I send them an email that has their Notion dashboard. In the Notion dashboard, there is a video of me walking them through it. And there's a discovery questionnaire, which is like the first thing that they have to fill in. Then there is a link to my calendar and say, please schedule your call when you finish your questionnaire. So that same week, say that's day 1, phase 1, Monday. Then when they schedule the call and we jump on the call, we go to phase 2, discovery. So we have a 1.5 hour meetings where I present them mood boards, where I present them directions, back in London, where I present them directions and I talk about their audience and community. And it's like really talking about their brand ethos. And it's a really important call for me to start the design process and for them to agree with the strategy that I'm proposing, because the questionnaire really helps me propose something for them. And after that call, that is phase 2 discovery. And then I go into phase 3, which is design. I hand them something that is a content creation dashboard, because most of my clients, they also want to launch into Instagram and they market through Instagram. So the task that I give them while I'm in this 4 weeks of design is that they have to, with the content themes that we talk about in that discovery session, fill in a whole Notion dashboard with ideas for their Instagram. So after 2 weeks, then I can grab that and create assets based on like what they planned for their social media. So that would be design. Phase 3 lasts from 2 to 4 weeks, most likely 4 weeks. And then a handoff. So handoff is we hop on another call, like the final implementation call, where I walk them through the designs, already revised. Like if there's any revisions, I don't do the calls until we're completely there. And we hop on a call and we talk about either they want to do a launch or they want to do a retainer, or they want to add newsletter setup or templates or a launch calendar. And that's when they do an add-on. And we handle that as a plus, like as a 1 or 1-2 week thing. But that's like the official handoff. That would be the 4 steps of working with me.
Okay, great. The thing that seems to me to be the like highest risk part, especially if you're waiting for inspiration, is stage 3. Like, do you ever get scared that you're going to not feel inspired and you're not going to be able to work? Or do you feel I'm asking you this just because I want to know where you're at. There's no wrong answer. Do you ever feel scared that you won't be able to feel inspired and thus won't be able to successfully complete a project? Or do you feel at this point, you do feel scared about that? Okay.
Yeah, but that's why I say 4 weeks. And normally it takes me 4 weeks, but I do procrastinate a lot that first week. And I'm like, oh, I have 4 weeks, and then it's week 3, and I'm like, oh shit, it's week 3. That's why that is the realistic like answer, actually. That I'm gathering inspiration, but it's also like to cover up procrastination on like the design. And that's why I've been liking Playbook, because I don't want to design. Like, even though I love designing, it's good to have only 3 design projects and other 3 that are more like talkative projects,
Yeah. I'm thinking, because I know your work is an art form for you, and this is going to shit on that. So push back if you don't like it. I was chatting with Brad about this recently. Feel free to always push back. I'm not giving you some edict. So for me, I have over the years, I have had times where when I see my brand as art or my design as art, it can feel stressful. And these days, I feel like my process for website design is a lot more formulaic. It's not formulaic, like check off a bunch of boxes, I arrive at a good design, but it is like, look at their reference sites, do a design that is like Zach style merged with their references and hits the KPIs like of what the wireframe says are important. And it's fine. I don't need to be inspired to do that because like I just naturally add my touch to things because of how I design. But it's like, it's not really a piece of art. It's not a piece of expression. It's just a thing that does a job.
It's a service,
And the thing is, if for you, you want your client work to be a form of art, maybe you wouldn't be happy with something that feels formulaic to you. And that's my question is like, I've looked at your designs and your designs have a distinctive style, and the style is clearly influenced by that other brand you sent, the We Love Designers one or whatever it was. Like to me, your designs, like you could make them a little bit more formulaic while still giving you creative boundaries if you wanted to. But I'm just curious if the idea of it, does it feel crappy to you or does it feel like something you would want?
No, even when you said like, even if I would grab 3 days, and because it does take me 15 hours, and if I would say, okay, 3 days, this is for this new brand, and I just do it and I hand it and then I close the project, that would make me so happy. And that's exactly why I want to hire designers. So they help me do it faster. So they help me ideate and come up with mood boards, and so we can create that. So it doesn't like in my head, yeah, of course, like when I say let's formulate my design, feels a little bit weird. But when I say let's intensify the design hours into an intensive 3 days, I really like the sound of that. And it's something that I could try now that I have like 4 active clients, which has never happened before, all in the same stage.
And do you like the idea of making your process more formulaic where it does not require inspiration and instead requires executing on pre-planned steps? Or do you not like that idea?
I have to try it, but I like it because I think I have such a cool archive of inspiration already. I use mymind.com. I don't know if you know that tool, but it's like a Pinterest that you create on the internet. And I have an amazing archive. Like when I have a new project, I just go there and I know exactly which one. Like the client is talking to me, and I'm like, I'm going to use this reference. So maybe it's something that I can totally formulate more. Grab it, make it more Maya, and make it hit like the brief.
Okay. Then, as I recall, you scheduled a call for like Tuesday or something, right?
For next week, yes.
Okay.
Is that okay for you?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think of how many days worth of homework to give you right now. So answer is 6. So one thing that I think would be really interesting, and it's not the thing you asked for, but I think it would be really helpful as I look at your process. If you could take some time to journal and look back on past projects and how you would approach these new ones, and reverse engineer what has to happen for me to create a good design, do it in broad strokes. So like say, step 1, I have to create my mood board. Step 2, I have to collect the references. Like pretend that I were going to say, Maya, I want you to do a good design for me, and I'm going to give you all the assets in the world, but you only have 2 hours to do it. And so I'm going to give you all this stuff, and you need to put your best work out in the 2 hours. What do I need to give you to empower you to do that? So your homework assignment is that you reverse engineer what are all the circumstances that add up for air quotes inspiration, or what are all the things that add up to you doing good design, even when you're not inspired. And I would really love it if I could see that reverse engineered into a design process for you, because what I'm going to have you do next with your junior designer is I'm going to ask you, okay, if some of this is mood boarding and research, can we perhaps offload some of that onto your junior designer so that they like give you this silver platter of everything you need to do your special sauce, and you just go blah, and it looks amazing in a lot of time.
Which is what I want. Amazing. Yeah, that's a good homework. It's aligned with the things that I want to do. So amazing.
And before we go, let me check the other thing you wanted to chat about. So you were asking about we have to go so fast, but what you said that there were 2 things, and I know I didn't touch on one. What were the ones you wanted to get feedback on? You wanted to talk about retainers, which I think we should table for Tuesday, but I think it's a great idea. What was the other thing you wanted feedback on?
I think that was the first one, and the second one is the one that you answered. How do you track the projects in advance? And the first one was how, like, I want your help with the offboarding process, so they like continue in my offer ecosystem. But we can totally talk about that later.
So I guess the core question, which I'm realizing I didn't answer, was how do you keep track of things in the different stages? So the succinct answer to that is that it's always kind of difficult when there are dependencies that you can't control. And the thing now that like what I'm thinking of for you now is like, I don't want this Icarus situation where now that you've got all these clients booked, you overextend and you create something unsustainable. So I want to make sure now that you've got this really awesome stack of cash coming in, I want to make sure that we can like have you fulfill that and not feel like you're buried under a mountain of responsibility. So I'm glad that you're saying no to work and not keeping yourself overbooked. So yeah, let's just think of how to architect this process. And then basically in terms of managing it, just trying to stagger it so that the phases that are going to eat up a bunch of your time align with the other ones that don't. But we can chat more about on that on Tuesday. So yeah, I guess for now, maybe continue. I'm curious if you experiment with the 888 standalone with the, cat feeding alarm. Hopefully my girlfriend hears it. If you experiment with the 888, how it's responded to. But yeah, I guess let's just chat more on Tuesday if that's cool. And you can hit me up in message if you have more questions. This is not very tight homework assignment for the time I feel.
No, amazing. Really, this was perfect. This is exactly what I wanted from this session.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much, Doug.
Sure. Cool. Well, good to see you.
Ciao. See you next week.
See ya. And congrats on the successes, by the way.
Yoo-hoo!
All right, so there's the session. I'll be excited to see how she does in the coming weeks and see what she reports back with. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, leave good reviews, all those things. And as a reminder, if you want to get coaching just like this, you can join the DYF Accelerator, and your membership includes one-on-one live video coaching calls with me every week, where we'll do basically what I just did with Maya here. These office hours blocks happen on Wednesdays. Typically, I've got 2 blocks a day, and you book a 20-minute one-on-one session within them where we connect on your goals, challenges, and kind of map you into the next steps. We cap the accelerator at 200 members to ensure everyone can get some direct one-on-one support like this. You can learn more at dyf.link/community. If you want to follow Maya's business, you can learn more about her at her business website, which is Blank Page Labs. That is blankpagelab.io, so singular, blankpagelab.io. or on Instagram at instagram.com/MaiaBen. So that's MaiaBen. That's her Instagram. Thanks, and see you in the next episode.